Prevention, Youth, and Victim Services, a position I've had the honor of holding since March of 2016. And one of the things that we really have worked on, and we've worked on with the governor and the lieutenant governor, is our understanding that we have an incredible team at the state, but we also know that we need to collaborate and we need to partner with all of you in order to make a better Maryland. And I think that's why we're continuously looking for opportunities and encouraging collaboration between state, local, and federal partners from multiple disciplines. This collaboration can be highlighted by the impressive group of partners that have answered the call and are here with us today, starting with our governor, Governor Larry Hogan. I want to thank you very much for making Maryland a positive national leader on so many levels, including leading the charge on our COVID-19 response, fighting for a safer Maryland, and addressing challenges brought on by this pandemic, such as mental health. Thank you very much, Governor. I also certainly want to thank our Lieutenant Governor, Boyd Rutherford, for championing mental health awareness across the state and supporting the governor as he's focused on directing Maryland's early response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you very much. I'd also like to recognize our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Karen Salmon, for her leadership in the state education response to the COVID-19 response. Colonel Jerry Jones and Major Greg Phillips from the Maryland State Police for prioritizing the partnership with the Boys and Girls Club to continuing build relationships in the community and a positive mentoring for those in the community. Where's Super? There they are. Right in front of me. I also want to recognize some of the great councils within our office. Within our office of the Crime Prevention, Youth, and Victim Services, we host the Maryland Youth Advisory Council. And with us here today is Chair Ian Hurd and the Public Awareness Chair, Nina Bundy, both students in Maryland that are leading their peers in many different efforts. So thank you very much for being here. We also have 8 Maryland Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Year awardee winners here. They're here today. Congratulations on an honor, and we're so glad you're here today to help us with this announcement. This is right in the part of the announcement where my notes say, make it exciting, as I'm going through this. And I am excited. So I think that we are all excited with this great group of people that we have here today. And we're going to keep going with that. We have Miss Kimberly Hill Miller, the principal of Lockerman Bundy Elementary, who the Lieutenant Governor will be introducing later to discuss her personal connection with adverse childhood experiences. Thank you. Lorraine Orr, Chief Operations Officer of the Boys and Girls Club of America. She flew up from Atlanta this morning, and we're thrilled that the Boys and Girls Club have partnered with us, not only to just expand the clubs in Maryland, but also focus on reducing adverse childhood experiences, and we're very excited about that partnership. We're getting close. And of course, I'd like to thank some of our private partners. Partnering with us in this initiative that you'll hear more about from Governor Hogan in just a moment is Microsoft, LinkedIn Learning, KPMG, Discourse Analytics, and eCare Vault. Their dedication in identifying need, creating solutions, and measuring the impact is going to have a direct impact on reducing adverse childhood experiences and helping us recover from COVID. So thank you very much. And lastly, but certainly not least, here with us today are the incredible leaders from the Maryland Alliance of Boys and Girls Clubs from across the state. Thank you for banding together, developing the alliance to help bring crucial services directly to those in Maryland. It's certainly truly an honor to be here with you today. Thank you so much. Every single person here, especially our students, are important community leaders on the forefront of helping spread the word about today's exciting public-private partnership that Governor Hogan will detail for us today. Our governor has emphasized that our most important responsibility is to protect Marylanders, and he has directed agencies to adapt in innovative ways and address the current public health crisis, paying special attention to the mental health needs of our Marylanders coming out of the pandemic. While confirmed cases of COVID-19 can be clearly tracked, The impact of this pandemic and on mental health is not easily quantifiable. We know that our young people are particularly vulnerable to mental health issues, and I'm very proud of the trauma-informed response that Maryland is able to provide, especially for our youth, and that's why we're here today. At this time, I'd like to thank Governor Hogan again for his incredibly strong leadership throughout this pandemic, and welcome to the podium to launch this exciting day. Governor Hogan.
Well, thank you very, very much. He did a good job of raising the excitement level a little bit, right? Thank you, Glenn. Appreciate that. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Glenn. It really is great to be here with all of you today, and I think it is an exciting announcement we're going to make, but it's great to be here at the Webster Kendrick Boys and Girls Club, which is doing such an incredible job helping young people here in Baltimore City to reach their full potential. And we're here today to announce Project Bounce Back, which is a groundbreaking initiative to help our young people recover from the devastating impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. This global pandemic has been an extremely difficult time for nearly everyone, but it has been perhaps most difficult for our children. The uncertainty and isolation of the past year, combined with prolonged school closures, has been devastating for their emotional health, educational progress, and developmental well-being. The CDC has labeled these adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs, and they can severely undermine a child's sense of safety and stability. ACEs are also linked to health problems and mental illness and substance abuse in adulthood, and can hurt education and job opportunities later in life. As the governor, but also as a father and a grandfather, nothing breaks my heart more than to see what our children have suffered through over the past year, especially those kids who are growing up in underserved communities. And I refuse to just sit back and accept this as the status quo. So today, we are launching Project Bounce Back, which is a $25 million, first in the nation, public-private partnership that will provide a critical support network for Maryland youth and families by harnessing the resources of the Maryland State Department of Education, the Governor's Office of Crime Prevention and Youth and LinkedIn Learning, KPMG, Discourse Analytics, and eCare Vault. The mission of this new initiative is to provide critical services to young people in need and to build post-COVID resilience among Maryland youth, families, and communities. Through Project Bounce Back, we will expand the reach of the Maryland Alliance of Boys and Girls Clubs to every single county in Maryland, prioritizing Title I school districts as well as rural communities in order to reach 45,000 children across all jurisdictions and to provide youth development programs and positive mentorships. As part of this expansion, we're also creating a new partnership between the Maryland State Police and the Maryland Alliance of Boys and Girls Clubs to promote positive mentorships and to grow community and police relationships. In addition, the Maryland State Department of Education is launching 6 regional mental health crisis teams composed of counselors, psychologists, and experts to collaborate with local school systems in order to provide on-the-ground crisis and technical assistance. Finally, through Project Bounce Back, we are working with private sector partners to provide an innovative new technology platform that will enable nonprofits like the Boys and Girls Clubs to provide better services and job development skills to local youth. Earlier today, I signed an executive order to make Maryland a national leader in working to address adverse childhood experiences. And through Project Bounce Back, we are leveraging the full weight of the government and the private sector to connect Maryland youth with the critical support services that they need. Of course, the single most important thing our local school systems can do to help get our kids back on track is to utilize the more than $1.2 billion in federal funding that we've provided to local school districts to offer targeted tutoring, the opportunity for summer in-school learning opportunities, and full in-person 5 days a week instruction for every single child in Maryland. Last week, the Maryland Board of Education voted unanimously to require in-person schooling this fall for all schools in the state. And this is a key part of our recovery and a beacon of hope for young people all across Maryland. But there are far too many kids that are struggling right now. And I want each and every one of you to know that help is on the way. And I can think of no better place to launch this initiative than with our Boys and Girls Clubs, which have given more than 200,000 hours of support to youth throughout this pandemic. And so on behalf of a grateful state, we want to thank them for their efforts to provide hope and a safe, inclusive environment to so many young people. So at this time, I'm going to ask Lorraine Orr, the Chief Operations Officer for the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, to please come forward so that I can present her with a governor's citation, better put my mask back on, in recognition of the partnership on this initiative and all of their incredible efforts on behalf of children all across our state and across America. So.
Well, thank you very much, Governor, and congratulations to Ms. Orr from the Boys and Girls Club, and we'll be hearing from Ms. Orr just a little bit later. Our next speaker has diligently served Maryland as a lieutenant governor and chairs the Commission to Study Mental Health and Behavioral Health in Maryland. Lieutenant Governor Boyd Rutherford has helped to lead the state's efforts to combat the opioid epidemic, break the cycle of poverty between family generations, and improve mental health delivery system, among many other accomplishments. I know one of his greatest passions is connecting those who need help with those that can help. I want to welcome to the podium Lieutenant Governor Boyd Rutherford.
Well, thank you, Glenn, and good afternoon, everyone. Before I get started and before the next speaker comes up, I would like to remind everyone that May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And to our fellow Marylanders who are suffering from mental health issues or are in crisis, you are not alone, and it's okay to seek help. And the bottom line, it's okay to not be okay. We need to make sure that mental health services are widely available, and if you need mental health resources, 211, dialing 211 Maryland can connect you with the resources and the support for mental and behavioral health needs. I'm here to introduce Principal Kimberly Hill Miller, who about 6 years ago I attended a program that she puts on called Donuts for Dads, an event at Lockerman Bundy Elementary School, which is located in West Baltimore. During the program and the presentation, she mentioned that since the end of the previous school year and the time that we were having the program, or she was having the program, which was, I think, early November, 4 of the fathers of the school kids had been murdered in that short period of time, less than 6 months. And 2 of the parents had participated in the Donuts for Dads just a year before. So think about the impact that the kids in that school, are feeling when they live in a community, they go to a school, they have classmates who have lost a parent due to violence of the streets in such a short period of time. Not just the children of the deceased, but their classmates, their community members. They walk through this crime zone, crime scene. They may have seen what happened. And so, I wanted to make sure that the principal came here to talk about that impact. these impacts, these adverse childhood experiences or trauma have occurred long before the COVID-19 hit. COVID-19 exacerbated a lot of the challenges that we already face. And I wanted her to come to talk about those experiences that her students are going through, because she is on the front line dealing with the ramifications of these challenges as she educates and mentors innocent children who are experiencing trauma. Her students face, many problems every day, and initiatives to implement trauma-informed policies create a pathway with technology, breaking technologies and infrastructure, hopefully that can help them through this process. So Principal Hill, please come up. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Kimberly Hill Miller, and I am the principal of Lockwood Bundy Elementary School in West Baltimore. I would like to first thank Governor Hogan and Lieutenant Governor Rutherford for their unwavering support towards reducing adverse childhood experiences. The children and families in our wonderful state desperately need them. I'm excited to know that Maryland is leading the charge through the groundbreaking public-private partnership supported by multiple state agencies, private organizations that will help tens of thousands of children across Maryland. Throughout my 25 years as an educator of our state, I have witnessed the need for extra supports beyond academics in the classrooms that are preparing our scholars to be outstanding 21st century leaders who are prepared to meet the rigorous demands of college and career success. These initiatives will answer the urgent call for those tiered supports, the equitable supports for our students across our state. My mission as an educator and administrator is to provide rigorous instruction and to meet and exceed the needs of diverse learners. That normally is the goal of any educator across the country. Maryland is leading the charge to address the mental health crisis occurring within our scholars now as a response to COVID-19. As I reflect on the past experiences that my scholars have received 10, 20 years ago, I came to the conclusion that the amount of adverse childhood experiences that our scholars have faced has a direct correlation to their future trajectory, which I personally have categorized as the 5 C's, the letter C. That's the teacher in me. College, career, as in jail cell, cemetery, positive outcomes, which leads into the first 2 C's of having a successful college and career experience. Throughout my journey, many positive educational experiences have only led a small portion of my scholars, some of them advanced students, exceeding the proficiency levels of students in other states, leaving their houses with more than one adverse childhood experience of either drug abuse in the home, incarceration of a parent, and having a deceased parent, or even traveling to school just to get to a safe haven, passing the corner, which is one of the C's. They're role models because the only ones that they have are at in the corner of our building, hoping for a new future so that they are not headed towards those negative trajectories, which are those other 3 C's, the corner, cemetery, or the cell, due to the lack of the supports of mental health and technology. A powerful event that Lieutenant Governor Rutherford mentioned that we have every year is our annual Donuts for Dads. I have been a principal for 8 years, and I've been at schools where there's been low participation of our males due to some of the C's, and that led in the negative trajectories. So every year, I am faced with explaining to a child that I am going to allow them to attend that event because they do not have a male figure or a mother figure to represent them. So when our gym, which is filled similar to our gym here, is filled with seats of parents and students with fun-filled activities, with hope in their eyes. When you see them participate, and then knowing that there are about 4 to 5 students a year who aren't able to enjoy the fun. So what I do each and every year, I have those students and I dedicate the program to our falling parents that we have lost to the senseless violence in the city. One particular year, which Lieutenant Governor did not know, because he only saw the academic piece and the support, 3 out of the 5 students who were our honored guests sitting with me at the podium, they still attend my school. They are actually the children of my former students who I provided those positive experience for, just like I did for their children now. They were actually there, and I had to guide them and hold their hands and let them know the reasons why their parents were not there, but they already knew. So what I did, and every year, I just have the audience, we sort of wrap our arms, virtually, around our students, and we let them know that even though there is an absence of your parent, every adult in that audience is here for you today. And so around the gym, you will see posters where we have those students decorate with maybe pictures of themselves with their fathers. They have a name, a section in the gym, and I just ask the audience before they leave to just leave one positive message of hope for those students. And then that is their takeaway from the program, while other students are able to get souvenirs of photos with their fathers. So with that being said, our students are experiencing a myriad of emotions which have a negative impact of their educational experiences. Seeing them growing up, needing the mental health interventions, we began a partnership with Roberta's House. And through that partnership, funded by Casa Permanente, we were able to get grief counseling at our school. So we were one of the first elementary schools in the city where I asked for that assistance because there was a need. And so today, our first layer of support is with the mental health in order for us to attack the educational aspect of it that's inside of them. I truly believe that every child is a genius, and with that hope and with these supports, we can further their education so they will not end up in the negative trajectories of my 3 C's. So with my message today, I hope that you remember those 5 C's and realize that those adverse childhood experiences can definitely make a major impact on the path that our students will travel for the future. As an educator and principal, I'm proud of my state, Governor Hogan, and our leadership to diligently address the ACEs, and with the collaboration of the agencies and partnerships, I am hopeful that our next generation of bright leadership will have a great future, just like most of us may have had in this audience. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, Principal Hill-Miller. And I also want to congratulate you on your Heart of the School Award that you had just a few years ago. And thank you very much for your dedication. So next, Dr. Salmon has served as our State Superintendent of Schools since 2016. With more than 45 years of experience as an educator, Dr. Salmon's constant focus on being to ensure equity and excellence in the education experience for all children in Maryland. Over the last year, she has led the state's education response during the COVID-19 pandemic, spearheading Maryland Together, Maryland's recovery plan for education, which is one of the first plans of its kind in the country. Welcome, Dr. Salmon.
Well, thank you, Glenn. You're a great partner to work with, and I've enjoyed our work this year. And I also want to say thank you to the governor. I don't know where we'd be without him. He has led our state in a time of an incredible crisis in a very positive and proactive way. And he has been a total supporter of our children and our education program. So I thank you so much, Governor. It's been my pleasure to work with you over the last few years. Lieutenant Governor, I also appreciate your diligence and your proactive association with the need for mental health in our state, and I'm hoping we can do you proud as we put these programs together in the future. It's also good to be here with our community partners today, especially the Boys and Girls Club of America. We are so looking forward to your expansion across Maryland. Maryland and the State Department of Education is very eager to collaborate with this partnership in the Project Bounce Back to help prevent adverse childhood experiences that were so well described by our principal. Students in Maryland and across the country are suffering. They have been impacted by the pandemic academically, physically, socially, and emotionally. We know that too many students have been exposed to trauma, disruptions in learning, physical isolation, and disengagement from school and peers. Many students who once excelled are now failing. Children are overwhelmed, anxious, and depressed. The most immediate, ready solution to protect children, as the governor said, is to return them to schools for full in-person learning as soon as possible. Sadly, too many students have yet to access a normal classroom learning experience. Based on our latest data, statewide, less than half, approximately 43% of pre-K through 12 students are receiving any in-person instruction. Said another way, almost 500,000 of our students are not receiving any in-person instruction. In-school, in-person instruction is the only way to ensure equitable opportunities for our students. Last week, as the governor pointed out, the state board passed a resolution calling for the return of full-time in-person instruction next fall. By providing this resolution, the State Department of Education is prepared to support all systems in removing obstacles and bringing students back and teachers to the classroom. At MSDE, our mission is children, and our children need their school communities. When we do reopen this fall, we want to make sure that schools are fully equipped to address learning needs. To do so, we must focus on helping schools and school systems, providing physically, emotionally, and mentally safe learning environments. To deliver these supports, we are establishing, and the governor mentioned this in his remarks, 6 new regional crisis teams across the state. These teams will provide crisis and technical assistance to local school systems for advisory committee, consisting of a cross-section of professionals in the student services field, including student members, and 2 of them are here today. Ian and Nia, stand up again. These are great people. Meeting since February, the task force is building this network of regional teams composed of counselors, psychologists, substance abuse coordinators, and counselors, nurses, and a consulting psychiatrist, as well as a family navigator who will enrich and enhance, not replace, the work of site-based student support personnel in our local school systems. These teams will extend the reach of current intervention resources and provide targeted school-based services that might prevent the need for future crisis intervention. They'll provide boots on the ground, direct student care, as well as professional development for educators. With May serving as Mental Health Awareness Month, as the Lieutenant Governor announced, and this week is Recognizing Teacher Appreciation, it's a compelling reminder of the very strong link between educators and the emotional support and assistance needed. My sincere thanks to our educators, school staff, and community partners who continue to put children first. To our teachers, thank you for keeping Maryland's children engaged, physically and mentally, healthy and safe. And as I close, just a reminder, if you have a concern about the mental well-being of a student, a classmate, or a friend, please use our Maryland Center for School Safety hotline, 1-833 Maryland Be Safe, or visit safeschools.org, where you can download an app or complete an easy, fast online form. Together, we can make a difference, and a difference in the lives of children, and together, we can fully recover and bounce back from this pandemic. Thank you very much. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, Dr. Salmon. Well, we first met her as the governor's most recent citation recipient, Lorraine Orr, serves as Chief Operation Officer of the Boys and Girls Club of America. She wears many hats there, including leading field services and activities across the Boys and Girls Club movement, handling child safety and protection strategies, and overseeing leadership development for staff. Lorraine's leadership and commitment to the youth have been both recognized locally and nationally, including the coveted Others Award and the Boys and Girls Club of America's National Professional Service Award, among others. Please welcome Lorraine Orr.
Good afternoon. Well, I will tell you, sitting here, I've just been in awe of the comments and what the leadership here of the state of Maryland is doing for Boys and Girls Clubs. For over 160 years, I like to call Boys and Girls Clubs a part of the institution, a part of the legacy of this nation. So for over 160 years, we have navigated so many difficult times and times of crisis, but clubs have always showed up and to make sure that young people are safe. Our kids, our tweens, and our teens. And today, I will tell you, and you can see it in the eyes of the leadership of Boys and Girls Clubs across the state, that we are committed now more than ever before to do whatever it takes to make sure that our kids, their families, and whole communities are better. And you've heard it said in a lot of different ways. This past year has been really difficult for us all, not only young people, for us all. And our ability to take care of, and the responsibility, I should say, to take care of the emotional well-being and health of young people is paramount. So to Governor Hogan and all of the staff here of Boys and Girls Clubs and the leadership of this state, thank you for your unwavering support to young people. And as I said, this has been a difficult time, but having access to technology and positive mentors and the guidance and food accessibility, all of those things that are so important to the positive development of young people. I've had the opportunity to visit a lot of states in the last year, and I will tell you what you all have announced here today in terms of Project Bounce Back. I haven't heard of anything quite as innovative, and it is so appreciated from me as a leader of Boys and Girls Clubs of America, but probably more so, and just as important for these hundreds, thousands of staff that have shown up in the darkest times to take care of our young people. Because what we know is the right support in hard times can build resiliency in young people. And I would say to you, if you look across the front row there, that's the face of resiliency. of young people who have taken advantage of their boys and girls clubs that are showing up in the spaces for education and doing those things. But what we know that there are tens of thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of young people across this great state that need access. And I may be a little biased, but I would say they need access to a Boys and Girls Club because I have seen over the last 35 years of my work in this organization the difference that it can make through the programs that we have that teach life skills, social and emotional skills, academic support, and of course fun. And I will tell you that these young people here that you see in front of you, and the tens of thousands of others, when they leave a Boys and Girls Club, they will be ready for what the future holds, and is what they bring to us, and is what we give to them. And when they graduate from high school on time, they'll be ready for the workforce because we need children and kids and teens that are ready to join the workforce. They'll be ready to go on to college, and some will choose to serve in the United States Armed Services, and all of which will make our nation better. You've heard a few comments around mental health, and I will say mental health has always been a focus of Boys and Girls Clubs, and the impacts of trauma that you've heard folks talk about here today. It can be devastating. But with the right supports again, and just so excited about what is happening here in this state. And I will be one governor that will walk to others and say, you got to replicate what's happening in the state of Maryland. But we are here to help build skills amongst our young people, help them be from this pandemic and beyond. And so. I cannot again say how grateful I am as a leader in the youth development space, but more grateful for these folks here that have not left the front lines in the last year, and I've seen it and I've heard the stories, and honored to stand in front of these Youth of the Year who are here that show us all what it's really about growing up in the great state of Maryland, but also growing up in the United States of America. So again, Governor, thank you. Lieutenant Governor Rutherford, thank you. Executive Director Houston, thank you. And Superintendent Salmon, thank you. It was my honor to be here today, and I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to my Boys and Girls Club colleagues who, like I said, have just been there every day. So thank you so very much.
Wow, this is an incredible event. I think the excitement has been here through the roof. You see the level of commitment that you have at all levels throughout the state, and I hope you're as excited as I. In closing, under Governor Hogan's leadership, Project Bounce Back has come to fruition, and it will reduce adverse childhood experiences while supporting the needs of youth coming out of this pandemic. I want to thank everybody here, especially the Webster Kendrick Boys and Girls Club for hosting us today, and all the staff that went together to pull this together, my team and everybody else. I just want to say thank you for supporting us for this event and many others. I also wanted to invite you to join the governor, the Lieutenant Governor, Dr. Salmon, and I, as long as with Colonel Jones. We're going to do some STEM activities in the room next door. I will warn you, though, that my friends from Baltimore City Police and I have done these before, so we're experts. So I wanted to reach out and say thank you for Baltimore City Police for being here as well. We're going to do some work with 3D printers, and we're also going to do some work with conductive Play-Doh to learn about electrical currents. I think I'm going to stay around the airplane with the 3D printing and let some of you guys do the electricity. But I just want to, again, I want to say thank you. This is such an amazing event. To the leadership, Governor Hogan, Lieutenant Governor Rutherford, Dr. Salmon, Colonel Jones, everybody from the state, everybody from the Boys and Girls Club, everybody that has come together today to help bring this together, thank you. This is going to be a great event for the state of Maryland, and I can't wait to do more with the children. So thank you very much.